So this is What Mountain Bike's 2016 Trail Bike of the Year. We got 28 bikes, all priced between £2,500 and £3,200. We whittled that down to a top 25, a top 10, a top 3, and then the eventual winner came out as the Whyte T130 RS. Whyte have traditionally been a UK-based brand, but they're now exporting to America and growing rapidly. Their bikes have always done pretty well, especially in Trail Bike of the Year. In fact, they won it a couple of years ago with the Whyte T129. In recent years, we've really got on well with their hardtails, such as the 901, which have come with more progressive, longer and slacker geometry. And this year, that's been transposed onto their full suspension bikes, such as the T130. While many might think that a trail bike has to have 140 to 160 mm of travel, Whyte have proved with the T130 that less travel doesn't always mean a less capable bike. So there's only 130 mm of travel available from the frame and from the forks. What we've got is actually a really long reach of 461 mm, and that's mated to only a 630 mm top tube. That's because the seat angle is relatively steep, giving a long front centre and also a nice pedalling position over the cranks. Whyte offer the T130 in a carbon frame, but we've got the aluminium version here, which helps keep the price nice and competitive. Up front, there's a RockShox Pike RC with 130 mm of travel, and out back, there's a RockShox Monarch Debonair shock. SRAM also provide the wheels with the Roam 30, and this comes in boost spacing, so 110 mm wide at the front and 148 at the back. This gives the wheel a little extra stiffness. Driving the bike forward is a Shimano XT 11-speed group set with an 11 to 42 cassette for extra range. That's paired with a race-face turbine crank, and that's one of our favourite ones on the market. Bringing the whole thing to a stop are a pair of Shimano XT brakes. Most of the kit on the Whyte is their own branded stuff, so 40 mm stem, 760 mm bars and their own saddle. This is paired with a RockShox Reverb Stealth dropper with 125 mm of drop. So I'm going to pass over to Guy Kesteven, who's going to tell you a little bit more about how the bike rides.
Whyte have had a fantastic year with their new Trail 130 platform. It's because they've actually lined their middle ground bikes up with the longer travel and hardtail bikes that have been getting so much credit in recent years, and added a lot of length to the top tube and thrown the front wheel a long way out front to give it tremendous stability and just a superb gung-ho nature. While the numbers aren't actually crazy radical when you look at some of the other bikes here, it's the whole holistic feel of the bike on the trail that really makes it come alive, and it's just had unanimous praise from all our testers, whether we've been in Wales or out here in France. That's pretty impressive too, when you're hitting trails, you know, where people like Nico and Fabian Burrell have cut their teeth, that a 130 bike can really hold it together and really haul out here. I mean, looking at the videos we've been shooting so far, there's actually not a ton of shock movement at the back, but the Whyte never hangs up. It always carries speed, it always feels lively, and it's always ready to pop or make an interesting move, where other bikes would maybe just plough through or just batter you off the back if you're on a sustained high hit situation. And while we said the suspension doesn't kick around a lot on descents, it's also extremely stable when pedaling. It's not a bike you have to really obsess about shock pressures over. You're not constantly flicking the compression damping lever about. Although it's there, it's more of a useful support if you want to change the downhilling character rather than something you need to remember as soon as the trail points uphill. While the RS is the bike that happens to fit the price profile for this test, it's one of just several bikes in that family. The new Yari-equipped cheaper bike is actually too cheap for this test, but is arguably just as capable and just as fun to ride. Whereas if you go slightly upriver of this price point, the £3,500 T130C gets a carbon mainframe which saves 800 grams off the alloy frame, and it's stiff, and you're also getting a boost fork on that as well. So Whyte have just absolutely nailed it with the mid-travel category this year, and pretty much from when we opened the doors of the van in Wales a couple of months ago, this was the bike that everyone had to beat, and at the end of the day, no one has.
So there we have it. The Whyte T130 RS is the 2016 What Mountain Bike Trail Bike of the Year. Don't be fooled by it only having 130 mm suspension. It's not a slightly beefed up cross-country bike. It's a bike that is ridiculously fast. It's got great geometry, it's got good kit. It's not just a fast and playful bike, it's one that will let you hit any line you want at full bore speed. So if you really are looking for an all-rounder bike that's happy pedaling all day long, but also happy hitting the steepest, gnarliest lines, then the T130 RS really is our recommended trail bike. We'll be bringing you videos from the top 12 bikes in Trail Bike of the Year, so check out the playlist for links to the rest of them.